everybody, welcome back to another video here on the O.C.Tanner factory floor.
This is part 4 of the Modern Leadership series. We're going to be talking about the top 5 lagging indicators.
So what might be the top 5 lagging indicators? You know,
Yeah.
how are we evaluating whether or not those things are happening, we're accomplishing it?
I think that the more people are engaged and involved and make things happen, all the results are going to get better.
Okay.
And the one that every team member is tied into is the gross margin of their product line.
Okay.
They're like, I understand what we need is we need to be more profitable. And just knowing that every team member's focus, all the improvements, everything they do is like, let's make this more profitable. And they love that metric. They love, because they own it.
Right.
And everything that happens, they are making it happen. I think when a team has a constantly improving gross margin, you know that team is bought in. There's no way the manager does that. The manager's helping the team do that. I mean, praise to the manager, but the people are making great things happen. And as they talk about it, the pride of that's our gross margin. That's what we do. Maybe it sounds weird to talk about profit that way, but we hand all that data to the teams.
But you're connecting it to the people, so it sounds very different than an organization sitting around a boardroom in here talking about their profit the way you're talking about it.
You know what they do with that data? They act like entrepreneurs. They become, this is my business.
Interesting.
This is my line. We are in business together. We're satisfying, and you know, I call out the big names of our clients. We're sad. These are our clients right here. How are we serving them? What value are we providing for them? How to provide more value with less effort? Because, you know, and we have tried, you know, before, if we talk about a big dollar goal, what really resonates with our people is this idea of how many recognition moments are we creating? How many times are we getting in front of people with the idea of honoring them? I think that's the goal that they really like to think about.
And at the team level, what are some common drivers of that margin? Meaning if a team is, or let's say I'm a new leader and I'm in that 3 months and you're trying to help me understand that, listen, they'll own this thing, but also maybe your role as a new leader, Mike, is to really help them understand what are the inputs to that. You know, since they own it, what can really affect it? What are some common things that teams are?
So I think there's 2 types. So one is the daily improvements.
Okay.
You know, that the improvement system brings out. What are the wastes we can eliminate? What are the ways that we can make this better? What are all the things that rub me the wrong way, that irritate us as workers, that if we changed, we'd be happier, everything would be smoother? Those are the daily incremental improvements that just march steadily upwards. And then you tie that to every 6 months, a big strategy project, changing a big metric that they decide is strategic for the company. Now you got your daily improvements and then your 6-month gain, your daily improvements and your 6-month gain.
Interesting.
And it's, they know exactly how to make it happen. And those 2 systems, the idea system and the strategy deployment system, just kind of drive that.
Interesting. Okay, so those are some on the team and some of the outcomes, the things that they influence that are driving, you know, obviously with gross margin driving, you know, performance and profitability. What about leaders now? Let's say we were looking at leading indicators for leaders. You know, if you had 5 again, you know, if you're watching a leader, you're watching them work, maybe you're seeing them, what are those things that maybe you're looking for? Not yet, but you know that if a leader is doing these 5 things, I'm going to see that team engage with ideas. I'm going to see some vibrancy, you know, reason for our excitement in the strategic projects. And I will tell you, they're owning that gross margin.
So I would say 3 types of connection would be 3 of the 5. The first one is the connection the leader has to the team member.
Great.
And if I'm standing there watching that leader walk through the team and talk to people, you can feel that connection or the lack of connection.
Right.
You know, you can feel that they trust, they believe, they're glad they're there as opposed to they're not. And I don't believe I have any teams where they wish the leader would go away.
Right.
Had that before, and I certainly have seen it in other organizations where the leader isn't welcome. But that connection, I think, is a big deal.
Okay.
We're in this together.
Yeah.
The second one is I think the leader needs to connect people to each other. So If I'm looking at a team and people kind of have this, they're just, as they're working together, you can see a connection to each other. They trust each other, they like each other. That's important.
Yeah.
And they're not going to work together to drive improvements if they're not connected to each other. Right. The third connection is I think the powerful leader connects them to the purpose.
Nice.
That, do you really see why we do this? And I think once people have that purpose that's like, yeah, I love it, I'm here, and they have people that they love to work with and they trust, and a leader who's like inspiring them, man, that's juiced up, that's got some power to it.
So that's already 3 out of the 5.
That's 3 out of the 5. And then I think you keep that thing fine-tuned. I would ask, are you doing your regular coaching? There's a coaching expectation. Are they filling that?
Yeah.
A fifth one, well, I already mentioned that our improvement system, the team decides what to work on, makes improvements. The good leader would not be inserting themselves in the middle of that, passing judgment on ideas,
Okay.
kind of being a filter for the idea. The good leader would be like, hey, what do you guys think?
So how they interact with the team,
Yeah.
with the idea system is maybe a
With the
really
idea
key.
that you guys are it, right? You guys are closest to the process. I believe you are best suited to make improvements to this process. What do you need from me? How can I help you? You need to learn more about PDCA? I can teach you that. You
Right,
want to know
right,
how
right.
to do a fishbone diagram? I can teach you how to do that. You want to know how to read a graph? I can teach you how to do that. I can do that. But I'm not telling you how to solve the problem. I'm going to give you all the tools you need because I believe you can solve the problem.
Very interesting. In one of the chapters I wrote about this rightful balance, kind of focusing on that right balance. But I don't know, as I really thought about it in these terms, that maybe some of these things that are connect, engage, grow, and appreciate way back to the camp are really more of the leading indicators as to whether or not we should expect to see the lagging, which are still people driven and owned, but more of the output of the performance. If we're doing these things, then we should see lots of ideas. If we're doing these things, we should see accomplished goals and strategy.
I think everybody naturally sees opportunity, ways to make things better. But if I'm way down here on a 0 scale with asking for it or inviting it, I'm just going to keep it to myself. Very few people will actually improve something if there's no invitation or if it's actually frowned upon.
Right.
But as that leader starts to step up their belief in people, their encouragement of people, I think people just quickly blossom. I want to, and now you're saying I can, and now you're teaching me how. Perfect. I'm free. Now you're letting me experiment. You're letting me fail and learn. Thank you. Yeah, adjust, try something new. I mean, that's just part of life here now. And the leader has to facilitate that, has to make it possible. One bad look even from a teammate, roll of the eyes, a heavy sigh, oh my gosh, the not again, that just kills it.
Right.
Everyone has to be inquisitive and curious. Say more. I'm not tracking with you. I want to know what this idea is,
Right, right.
Are you saying whatever? And they're like, actually wasn't saying that, but that's pretty good. Well, let's build on this. That's where ideas come from.
Right.
And actually, we don't pay for ideas. We don't even know how to reward for ideas because I find there isn't hardly any ideas that isn't something that the team came up with together. Someone thinks of a germ of an idea, and then they start talking, and before they know it, it's boom, it's this big, and it's everybody's.
Right, right.
That's powerful.
Yeah. It's when we talk about this and just this, giving ideas, and we obviously are making it sound super simple, right? I'm constraining you to 5, and it's 3 of them are just connection. I mean, 3 out of the 5, right? So obviously deceptively simple. And I'm reminded, I was speaking with Alan Robinson last week. Ideas are free, an idea-driven organization. And when we were talking about Kaizen system, he said, everybody asks me about the nuts and bolts of the Kaizen system, and it needs to be super simple, manual, and it's 10%. 90% is the leader. 10% is the technical part of it. That's not why it never works. You know, they overcomplicate it. It's a Rube Goldberg by the time it's done. And really 90% is how you lead. And in essence, you just said, you know, well, 3 out of the 5 are just literally how well I do it connect. And I could say, you could argue that 4 out of the 5 if you said that how a leader connects them to the improvement system. You could almost put it, you know, because you just talked about connecting them. So given all that, why is it so hard for groups? You know, why do we not see more groups? I mean, of course it would mean less tour visits. You know, of course you wouldn't get the joy of so many visitors, but you know, because some of the content is sounded simple. You know what I mean? Conceptually, why don't we see more?
I'll tell you why I think it's hard. I think everybody has to be vulnerable. Everybody has to put themselves out there a little bit. And every one of us at some point in our preschool, elementary, junior high, high school days were embarrassed by something we did. We're all a little gun shy, a little hesitant, don't want to put myself out there again. And this requires vulnerability. It requires the ability to just, I have a thought, I say it. Okay, you won't think that's not going anywhere. I get it. You know, you have to, but it has to be okay. It has to be okay that we can just kind of put ourselves out there. The manager vulnerability is, I believe to keep my job, I have to deliver results. And I'm just going to hand that over. I'm just going to ask the team to deliver results. Don't I need to control this? I have to make things happen. Do I really, am I willing to be totally vulnerable and throw myself at the mercy of this team? Well, that's tough. That's tough. You got to trust each other.
Right.
You got to believe in each other. You got to, you know, and it requires a ton of respect, a ton of humility, and just willingness to kind of be yourself.
It seems to be that so many still make it about the technical nuts and bolts of the actual mechanism itself, you know, the process itself. And when that happens, I think simplicity and direct connection and ownership for people get left by the wayside. Because it can't just be ask them for ideas and trust them to do the right thing. It just, with all due respect, it can't be. It must be in the water. It must be the building. It's the new roof we've been hearing so much about. It can't be that easy. Because I find there's just this inherent, I wouldn't say it's resistance, but there's maybe just a disbelief that, like what else aren't you telling us, Gary?
So when
what
you think
else are you not telling us?
When you think of the words like it's mechanical or it's in the mechanics, that's very machine-like. And there's not a lot of humanity there. And yeah, I turn on the machine and it runs. Well, people aren't like that. And no one's the same. And some people are running full speed, and other people are trying to catch up, and people are trying to get it, and other people are like, I mean, there's every type of person imaginable, and I think it's that human element, those interactions, you know, that make life valuable and good. And I think that is the secret to a powerful improvement system, is people who are just, they're being people. And we're letting each other be who we are. And that it's working with heart and connecting again that I think really allows things to open up. So you got the mechanical, which I believe can always only provide so much output. But when you multiply the people by each other, this humanity, there's no way to count how big that becomes.
Yeah. This has been awesome.
I've had fun.
Yeah, I really appreciate it.
It's been good.
I really appreciate it.
I love talking about this stuff. I love talking about it with you because you love this stuff. That's fun.
I do. I don't think we see enough of it, to be honest with you. I think it is the stuff that is super exciting. I think it's the stuff that you have to have a bit of faith and be okay. You know, I have said learning to be a lean leader is learning to let go. I think there's a significant portion of this where you can't, are you really going to let them own it? Because as soon as you do, they help create your system.
Yeah.
It's not you.
Right.
You know, they help support it, they sustain it, and they will surprise you with what they will bring to the table. But what that means is you won't always know. It's not always linear, and it's not, and sometimes it is just magic, and sometimes it's, you know, gutting it out. And
Yeah.
I think it's the joy of getting to lead this way.
Yeah, I like
and I
it.
think it's the fun of it. But so many of them are like, no, here's my leader standard work. And really uses it rather than, you know, this concept we talked, this freedom within fences, where we have these guides
Right.
and these fences to help shape and define creativity and to help bring out the best. It becomes restrictive to the point of, okay, I mean,
You know,
I'll
to-
follow it if you want me to because you're
Yeah.
nice people, but that's not me.
To that point, my leader standard work is the things that from thinking about what is the best use of Gary. When I do what, do people benefit? I got to do more of that. Put it on my standard work and just ask myself, did I do that today? Or sometimes, how well did I do that today? Did I do my very best to whatever? That's what's on my leader standard work. It's not finish this task. Well, there is some of that.
Right.
You know, there is some tasks
Sure.
I have to do. I have to go to my morning huddle.
Sure.
Right. But then the second question is, you know, what did I do in the huddle? How well did I, whatever?
Show up, yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. I just came just before this. I was doing a cookie break with some brand new employees. They've been here about 3 months generally, and there were some executives with them, and we were just talking. And I asked them, "What do you like about working here so far?" And it was funny that all of their comments were about how nice people are. And that's all they could talk about was people are so nice. And yet it's really not about niceness, because like if somebody's like not holding up their end, the team will call them on it.
Right.
Hey, what's up? You know, let's go, right? You know, whereas nice would be like, I don't say anything.
Right, right.
You know, but I don't think they know how to describe what they're feeling here, but I think what they're feeling is humanity. What they're feeling is people working with people, and that's nice.
That's nice. That's good. Let's end there. You're
Yeah,
so awesome, man.
All right, man. Thank
So
you very
awesome.
much.
Oh my goodness, I love Gary's note there at the end about humanity. It really comes down to everything we believe here at O.C.Tanner.
Yeah, this video talks a lot about all the different systems that we use here at O.C.Tanner, and he references the top 5 videos. You should check out on our channel those other videos.
Absolutely, we have a lot of videos on our channel that really reinforce those systems. And then go ahead and subscribe to see everything else that we have to offer. See you around.
See ya.
The banging, the
Yeah.
beehive that we have up to the right here now. It sounds like it could be close to an electrical fire. It's all just, it's color. It's really color.
Yeah, in this video, we left you on a cliffhanger. Okay, hold on.
Cliffhanger. Clift.
Clifting.
So no
We're
kind of
doing
cliff.
some clifting today. We left on you a cliff. And last time we were talking about the 5.
Josh has the giggles today. Everybody, welcome back to another video here at the O.C.Tanner factory floor. I did nothing. I did nothing.
Oh,
Except that I look shorter than you because we're on a hill. All right, welcome back to another video here at the O.C.Tanner factory floor.
This is the last of a 4-part series on modern leadership. We left you on.
Hey everybody, welcome back
It's worse.
to the O.C.Tanner factory floor.
Oh, good.